it's late. It's late in the day and late for me to do this because although I had cut the quick clip on this N8, it didn't go up because I had some bandwidth issues in the house. Not because, well, partially because I was uploading an audio of the Sunday News on this iPod Touch, and that's good, but that was competing with something bigger. It was competing with this iPad. And a little girl that was watching Dora, as well as father-in-law that was doing Street View. You can't be doing quick, plus audio do uploads, plus maps and Street View, and a hope for the best. You're going to get a crunch. There's also a crunch in the papers. A lot of stuff that's being talked about in the news today on Sunday, 28th of November in Ireland, overcome by events by late in the day. And it was obvious there were outright falsifications and misrepresentations by the government about things about the Irish economy. I'm a little bit depressed about that, not so much so I'm going to jump off something or run into anything, but because Ireland deserves saving, and perhaps the best way to do that is just to scrub it of the current government and just hope for some kind of expertise in positions of authority. Big systematic changes are going to happen for that to occur. I'm not sure Ireland's up for that. However, this is my take on the news. Over on www.insideview.ie, I have parts of the rest of the story. Twitter, I'm topgold. Hope you enjoy this. And if you're Irish, shop local. If you're not, buy Irish. You're looking at a Child of War, part of the Sunday Times Children of War Christmas Appeal. You can get more information about the Children of War inside the Sunday Times magazine. It's part of the Christmas Appeal special. Worth doing. More details as I look through the Sunday Times and Sunday Business Post today. Front page, idiots, upside down. A protester revealing her irritation with the Irish government during a trade union demonstration in Dublin yesterday. 50,000 people went there. And in this paper, some ideas what may happen if the government changes, and it should. Please help me, the pain never goes away. Sunday Times Appeal can be found online at msf.ie/Sunday Times. Medicine Without Frontiers. Good program. Couldn't imagine living life with disfigurement that brings pain every day of my life. Help people that need help and feel better yourself. Some of these guys may need help. The two Brians, that's Brian Cowan and Brian Lenihan, standing firmly and almost defiantly against the will of people who want a new government. A new government perhaps for a better future. And, well, that story plays on in this European theater with the world looking on wondering what's up in Ireland. What's up is a lot of stuff that's not going down well. So far, Europe is holding its breath, hoping that the union can be held together, especially the monetary union, because Ireland is just the tip of the iceberg. You got problems in Portugal and Spain and Greece. Serious economic realities starting to set in now. It's going to require some changes in the way that bondholders have been dealt with. Dennis O'Brien has a look at the recovery. He says Bono and U2 are great salesmen for Ireland. What he would do, Dennis O'Brien has said, take a big whack, €8 billion out of the budget, give Ireland some breathing room, have a big bring and buy sale for the semi-states. He'd get rid of Dublin Airport Authority, Bord Gáis, CSP, Colsha, and all the ports of Ireland. Sell them off for revenue. He would not cut the budgets of Enterprise Ireland and IDA. Trying to sell Ireland forward is important, he said. He would streamline the decision-making process for Enterprise Ireland and the IDA. He'd bring more life to the Mittelstand, which is the SME sector of Ireland. Frank Fitzgibbon, don't interrupt you. Your point about the recovery is the Croke Park deal needs serious relook. He calls it, Frank calls it, an in-joke between the government, the trade unions, and the private sector. A big gag. The public isn't laughing, though, is it? This guy's not laughing either. It's Michael Lowry. He knows what he has to do. This guy here, with Fianna Fáil, probably not going to vote for the budget. Both those guys abstain. Could be a general election called because there have been some other seismic shifts in the way the Dáil is populated. And a lot of people just aren't for the budget. Recovery plan will test a new coalition, Matt Cooper says. And how? Well, he outlines it, but then towards the end of the editorial comment that he makes, Matt's pointing out the realization is growing that the current system simply does not work. And what we're going to have to do is reform it. And how to reform that? Well, change the system of electing politicians who are merely just highly paid local councillors. Let's get some people in there that can actually make decisions based on their own expertise, and maybe get some ministers, change the way we select ministers, and make them people with talent, not just political longevity. Big changes, though. I'm not sure Ireland's up for it, because cronyism is just part and parcel of the way the country's put together. Been that way forever. Politicians expect to get some pay cuts. That's what Pat Leahy, John Burke, and Niamh Connolly say on the front page of Sunday Business Post. Curbs on politicians' pay, and then towards the end of the article, this little bit about Jim McDade. He used to be a doctor, still is a doctor. He's going to get a severance package because he used to be a minister, and his severance package is worth €250,000. The man can go into private practice as a GP, but he gets that little cushion to help him land back into his practice with a little bit of thanks for doing a job for the Fianna Fáil government. Technical firms, not very happy with the government's move to put a cap on the tax break. You used to be able to get a tax break. Any royalties earned from patents would come in without having to pay a big tax, and that's going to be removed in the next budget. Gavin Daly points out that that's going to be a problem for technology firms. Yeah, it will be. You know, you want to push innovation, you have to have a chance of making money on it, and there will be patents still issued to Irish companies. They'll just license them in different constituencies. Easy to do. The IFSC is a work of art regarding that. Just set up your company with another brass plate somewhere else. Put your patent there. Two Brians, exceptionally defiant. The old order of who they are is going to be swept away. Big change is what I call it in the just around the corner. This man named Gilmore, that man almost ready for primetime, Ed McKenney, may end up being in charge. The problem, as Pat Lee points out, is that we have to make some bigger changes. Change it from the point of view of good politics, meaning being re-elected, to meaning actually serving the public. Change it from the politics as usual to the politics of reality. Maybe downshift from some of the incendiary language that's being used. He thinks political change is on the way, but some of the stuff he's seeing between the folds on the streets and in discussion may be the kind of change that a lot of people in Ireland aren't ready for and won't find very Irish. Stand by for more. Radical surgery required for the Irish banking system. Richard Curran points out what that may mean. It means my bank, which is AIB, is going to get much smaller. The loan book will get very slim. You know, Ireland's a small little country. Why do they think they have to pay politicians so much like a premiership team would be paying its footballers? Pay them like what a Premier Aircom League would get paid. Time to revisit Croke Park, Sean Murphy says. In light of deteriorating finances, public sector costs must fall. Leo Varadkar's given any choice to slice a few tens of thousands of people probably from the public service. Some of them may be parking in the same parking lot that I use. Week's a long time in politics. No time for long goodbyes, says Niamh Connolly. You know what? Poor Brian Cowan, who many people recognize as the worst Taoiseach in the history of the state, doesn't even have an official photograph, official portrait painted of him yet. He'll be out of office in history books as a failure before he's oiled. Darn. Disrupt the chaos. Build a better Ireland, says Gavin Daly, pointing out that some speakers were trying to do that. Online gaming, frequently ignored, maybe deserves a better uptick, better funding. That's one emerging expertise Ireland has. Tweak.com is what Jared Keneally is pushing right now. It's like an online design business. It's all about talent, says Keneally. Lots of talent here in Ireland, especially coming off the back of some of the courses that I'm teaching. I would agree with him. Public service broadcasters are criticized over the online activities. Catherine O'Mahony's carrying this story. You know what? The public service broadcaster RT is carrying some of the most innovative ways of looking at the way Ireland is being viewed, using new devices like iPad apps and iPhone apps. But I don't know, I'd be careful about slamming the door shut on those guys. Here's somebody. His name is Alan Sherlock. He's writing this half-page story about making the most of social media. Alan, if you're listening, my nickname on Twitter is topgold. I wonder what yours is. And he frames it in point of view of a return on investment. You know, how do you know whether But what you're going to do online is actually returning investment. I don't think you have a choice, Alan. You're going to have to spend time online. Here's good ways of doing it. Adrian Weckler, he's at Adrian Weckler on Twitter, outlines some gear you might want to buy. This is all Irish budgeted type stuff, cheap stuff but good stuff. The iOmega iConnect for €80 would allow you to talk networking to the back of some of these new digital tuners that you're going to need for your television. I may get that so my old USB devices can talk to my telly. I constantly need storage. This iOmega Select 500 gig will help me get through half of the year next year, just half of the year, burning up a terabyte a year of storage with video and stuff. And I appreciate your tips, Adrian. Just saying, if you're using this kind of a thing, you're going to discover that not all USB devices, not all USB ports the size of your computer will provide the power required for that. So you may need to use 2 of your ports to power it and to get the data. Some stuff that's out there, the iPad as well, is out there playing with this one right now. You know what I'm saying though, I mean, although 3 generations in the house like this, that's a decent product. Version 2 out in April is going to be a whole lot better. It'll have a camera on it. If you're going to buy it now, you're at about €500. If you wait for a few months, you may discover it's dropped to about €300 in price. Well, we'll be playing with the iPad anyway today. I'll also be reading this book, The Psychology of Influence. It's important. We're looking at something for our Christmas wish list, so if you want to get me a gift token, buy it here. Buy it from Willie Duggan. He's in Kilkenny. He's got really cool light fixtures. Outside, it's snowed. You can see more what that snow looks like by going to flickr.com/photos/Irish Eyes. Follow me on Twitter if you want. Over there, I'm called Topgold, and within a few weeks, a little tree out there may have lights on it for you viewers who like my clips. Take care, lads. Bye for now.